I'd like to bring in our representative from Microsoft, Cyril. Can you join us, please?
Yes.
Hi. Good afternoon. Good morning, rather. It's
Good morning.
still morning. Good to see you. You saw the little preamble that Gilles and I were having on that report. What are your thoughts on that, Cyril? And then you can talk about some of the contextual work within Microsoft to sort of bring the whole conversation together.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I think security has become a business imperative. There is no way, as you were saying, that digital transformation is going to be a reality if you don't make security part of it. And that's part of the things, like when I talk to people, some people are not excited about security. They feel like, oh, it's a boring problem. It's a difficult problem. It is a difficult problem, but it's very interesting. And, it's a challenge. People sometimes look at hackers and think that they are brilliant and so on. But at the same time, I feel like being a defender is 1,000 times more difficult. And you should admire the people who are really spending their time. And as Gilles was saying, the recipe for good security is a mix of people, processes, and technologies. And I always look at the technologies like, look 10 years back and see the technologies we had. And you would compare to today and you would say, oh, that was really not advanced, And if you look 10 years in the future, it will be the same. So invest in your people, make sure they have their brains well organized about understanding the concept, managing the risks, being vigilant, like every user should be vigilant. And then look at your processes. If you're organized to face the unknown, basically you're in a better position.
I wanted to pick up on one point. You say hire people and hire quality people. Now, I'm in that category of the small medium business. Firstly, I wouldn't know how to hire them. What are we looking for? Secondly, where's the talent? Is there sufficient talent out there? And thirdly, potentially, so if I'm running $100 million business and I'm hiring 2, 3, 4 people, and are they good enough? Because in this kind of a company, if you get the average level of person and you get the average level of sense of protection, but actually, is that the protection, or do we need that the giants to come in and to act as our buffer? So perhaps you can comment on that.
I think so to echo what Gilles said, I think every company is becoming a digital company to some extent. So you need to protect the data, you need to protect the systems. What I would say is that I would not try to protect myself just by myself. I would use the cloud, number one. Second, I would hire a company to do managed services, security services for me. Correct. So someone who's keeping an eye on me, but other customers, and we have an ecosystem. Xquitech, Cloud4C, CDW, Etisalat, Logicera, and so on. So there are lots of companies who can do that, basically. And third, I would hire people locally, because what you've asked your provider to do might not be covering all the things you need to do. And you need someone to think about the company uniqueness and see if we are doing the right job. So somehow hire someone, make sure they are productive and using their judgment for what is specific for my business, not trying to redo what someone can do for me as a service. Current way of thinking about security is to have a zero trust mindset, which is a philosophy of when someone wants to access a resource, you protect closer to the resource, okay? And that is a change of, if there are people working in IT in the call, where we were building castles, with networking. You had your corporate network. If you were on the corporate network, everything is good. If you're not, then you use a VPN and everything is good. We know that now people are attacking, or internal network are not safe, and therefore you need to change. And as Gilles was saying, if you go for a cloud-first strategy, I mean, the services, the servers are going to be outside of your company. You're going to have a connection between your smartphone, your tablet to this service. So rethinking the cyber budget, probably it's important if you've not invested into the things that are necessary to survive an event. I don't have the statistics for UAE or Middle East, but in France, where I'm located, 39% of the small and medium companies who have a ransomware event do not survive the event. So that's massive attrition, you know, and therefore it's important to know how digital you are, and the more digital you are, the more prepared you should be.
What are the trends that you're seeing out there at this point in time to get people future ready?
Yeah. So first of all, you need to train, educate people, and so on. But we need to recognize that although there are some principles that will never change, like we mentioned the principle of least privilege, or another principle which we call defense in depth. You put different barriers so that if one is dysfunctioning, you have another one. These things are not going to change, but there are things that are going to change. So it's not just the initial training which is important, it's the ability to do continuous training and keep yourself up to date, because the threat landscape is changing and you need to adapt. On the technical side, I see more and more curriculums around IT and information security. We now have masters. We even have, like, you know, uh, let's say some groups who are trained especially on luck on the market. So I know, like, for instance, Microsoft in France has been doing trainings for having more experts able to reconstruct an Active Directory on-prem after an attack, because they were lacking skills there. So it's partnership with the telco, that would be the equivalent of Etisalat locally, working and saying, I'm going to hire these people because every time there is a customer in need, they are one of my customer, and I can send people to just help them do that. From the more strategic levels, you start to find some universities teaching that, like how to become a chief information security officer. But yeah, it's still, you know, a very new domain that we're working in. A lot of people who are today like the top experts, they came from very diverse backgrounds, you know.